Christ, our rock. Day 9. Today's reading is from Numbers 20, verses 10 through 13. Then Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock. And he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels, shall we bring water for you out of this rock?" And Moses lifted his hand and struck the rock with his staff twice. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank and their livestock. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you did not believe in me, to uphold me as holy in the eyes of the people of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land that I have given them. These are the waters of Meribah, where the people of Israel quarreled with the Lord, and through them he showed himself holy." Throughout the New Testament, we see Christ referenced as the rock, the Word of God in various capacities. We should be building ourselves on his foundation as that cornerstone. But in this context, we find the people of Israel, the Hebrews, again, stuck in the desert, grumbling at Moses and their leaders become impatient having to deal with them. And the leaders are disobedient. Moses and Aaron are disobedient, and they strike the rock when God tells them to speak to it. They try to take things into their own hands based on previous things that God had asked them to do, where God had asked them in a previous passage to strike the rock. Despite a leader's failure, God was still merciful to the Hebrews. The rock was still merciful and provided life to the Israelites. For us, that could look like a failure of pastors. For us, that could look like a failure of politicians or generals or economic leaders or academics or scientists, whatever category you want to throw. The failure of the leader does not negate the mercy towards the congregation that's assembled to seek for the rock. Often in the New Testament, if we look at Christ as a foundation, we miss that position as him as the rock, as a provider for us, a giver of mercy, a giver of sustenance. When this rock was struck, what should have happened is judgment came down because the leaders failed. But instead what happened is God still was able to fulfill the needs of the people in the congregation. There was consequence for disobedience for those leaders. The hopes that they had of leading the Israelites, this kind of movement from the wilderness into the promised land, was taken from them. But what I can't help but see throughout this passage, we see Christ as the foundational rock. We see Christ as the rock that gives water to us. And if you take that second image and you squeeze it, you find it in Exodus as well, and then repeated in Revelation. This idea of a temple. What kind of life or what kind of water does Christ say that he provides to the woman at the well? Well, the type of water you'll never need to get another drink from again. A water that will quench your thirst for eternity. And the temple in Ezekiel and the temple in Revelation, both described as Christ, well, what does he provide in that? Living waters, abundant waters, waters that defy logic, defy physics. They grow deeper and wider and richer, and they keep giving life the farther they come, but they still keep being produced out of the mouth of the temple. And here we are in this passage, seeing kind of the first precursor maybe to what that would look like for us. The rock that provides, the rock that sustains in the wilderness, that gives water that quenches our needs, that keeps us alive. Christ is our rock, and he sustains you. You can build off him, and he will give you the waters of life. Christ our rock. God bless you.